Hello, class. My name is Lamar Mesa. I am a senior marketing major here at Midwestern State University. Um, Today, I'll be doing my presentation on Belgium on behalf of Group 6. Let's get started. So, for our overview, I'll be talking about long term and short term orientation. I'll also be talking about time orientation as well as Belgium's corruption index. And then I'll get a little bit into unacceptable business practices related to that corruption index or that kind of affect that corruption index. In terms of long term and short term orientation, as we've learned kind of through the slides and the PowerPoints and the lectures, this is basically how societies maintain links with their past while simultaneously dealing with the challenges of these countries' presence and futures. And so, with that being said, Belgium is definitely long term because they scored an 82 on that scale. This just means they have a very pragmatic approach. They like to use reason and sensibility. They encourage thriftiness, so that things like saving, investing, loaning, as well as efforts in modern education to prepare for the future. So most of what they do is going to be based on what's to come and how they can prepare for that rather than what's already happened. Um, they believe that truth depends very much on the situation, also depends on context as well as time. And then Belgium shows the ability to adapt traditions easily uh, due to changed conditions. And so that really has a lot to do right there with their geography and the fact that they are basically sandwiched right between France, Germany, and the Netherlands. In terms of time orientation, Belgians are very monochronic. Um, Punctuality and respect for deadlines are huge to them in their society as well as their culture. They value a clear order and sense of there being a proper time and accommodation for everything, and distractions are not valued. And so, what this means is they're not really going to be too fond on playing things by ear, kind of just seeing how it goes. They really like structure. They really like being able to have everything just scheduled out. They also lean towards doing one thing at a time and are not easily interrupted. So kind of like I just said, they're very task oriented. If they're on something, they're going to focus on that task. And as the last bullet point says, they're going to go ahead and complete a task before they even think about moving on to something else. So here we're going to have the corruption index. And Belgium has consistently been between 75 and 77 on the corruption index since about 2010, and that's what that graph right there on the left shows. Um, and as you all know, zero means you're highly corrupt, and then 100 is going to mean you're very clean, not a corrupt country. Um, and Belgium's 2020 corruption index was 76, which actually ranks 15th in the world out of 180 countries. Um, and I don't have a visual of this up there, but for comparison, the United States scored a 67 in the year 2020, which is actually pretty significantly lower than it normally is. Here we've got our corruption index continued, and due to that, excuse me, due to that higher corruption score, the corruption risk in Belgium is going to be very low from a business standpoint. So this doesn't form a significant obstacle in terms of doing business in Belgium. They have a very well developed legal framework, and the criminal code here actually criminalizes both public and private bribery, passive and active bribery, and bribery of national and foreign public officials. Um, and then lastly, The facilitation payments are illegal under Belgian law. So things like gifts and hospitality of any value may be illegal depending on the intent behind the action. And here I'm going to have my works cited, and I look forward to answering any questions or comments. And appreciate you guys for bearing with my sinuses and all that good stuff.